Hey there. So I've been working on this project creating a series of 12 playlists, one for each of the zodiac signs in Western astrology. I've gotten pretty obsessed using this project as a way to meditate on the meaning of each sign as we pass through the seasons. The playlists are each pretty long, between 4 to 8 hours, and I've designed them so that you can listen to them straight through in order for a curated, intentional journey through the themes and contradictions of each sign. Or you can listen to them on shuffle play for a fun and maybe even magical experience using the shuffle algorithm as a kind of oracle. Each zodiac playlist is filled with songs by artists who were born under the appropriate sign, but of course the sun sign, which is the one of yours that you probably know even if you're not all that into astrology, is just one part of the birth chart. And popular astrology often reduces the whole practice to just looking at sun signs, which can make the practice of astrology simplistic and problematic. All of us are complex human beings, and we all embody the themes and contradictions of the whole zodiac. Indeed, the zodiac can really only be deeply understood as a whole, as a reflection of the entire human psyche and condition. So the driving force for me in choosing the songs for these playlists was not the birthdays of the artists, although that factored in, but rather the spirit and messages of the songs in relation to the 12 signs of the zodiac. In this way, I've done my best to honor the complexity of both the artists and the symbols. I'll be creating these accompanying videos for each playlist, so you can check out the Leo video from last month and stay tuned for Libra next month. The full videos and write-ups are available to patrons, and shorter forms are going out on social media and YouTube. Thank you as always to my patrons for sustaining the work that I do, both with my band, Adam Gottlieb and One Love, and stuff like this. And if you are not yet a patron and you want to support my work of producing inspiring content that integrates music, poetry, spirituality, and a revolutionary vision of a world beyond capitalism and oppression, I hope you will consider becoming a patron, at least as long as we live under capitalism. You'll gain instant access to loads of content that I've been creating over the last several years. In any case, I hope that both these playlists and these videos help you to appreciate the richness of the zodiac in ways that serve your personal evolution and spiritual growth. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I'd love to hear your reactions, ideas, or suggestions for these playlists. So please leave me a comment with any thoughts or feedback you may have, and thank you as always for watching, for following, for supporting. Now let's dive into Virgo. As summer begins to fade and pass away, we are called to be even more present with every passing hour of every passing day, to appreciate the subtle beauties of Earth's rhythms in their fleeting nature, the rising and falling waves of cicada song, the rich aromas of flowering trees, the tastes of freshly harvested tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. Our attention is called to these details of the earthly world as we are enjoying the last days of summer's abundance while simultaneously preparing for the work that autumn will require. This poignant time of year is symbolized by the sign of Virgo, the Virgin, the most subtle and difficult of all the Western zodiac symbols to understand. The mood of Virgo season is romantic and melancholy, touched by exquisite beauty, but burdened by a little too much wisdom. Virgo knows that all this ripeness and color are ephemeral, and like all good things, this glorious summer will fade away soon. Aeolian Heart. Heads up, I will be leaning heavily on this essay by Aeolian Heart here, because she breaks down the qualities and contradictions of this sign so beautifully as only a Virgo master astrologer could. As the sun leaves its home and enters the realm of Virgo, we are called to move beyond simply sharing our core selves with the world to hone our abilities, master our gifts, and attend to who and what the self is becoming. The Virgin symbolizes the potentiality of nature to germinate and cultivate life. In the ancient contexts from which Hellenistic astrology emerged, the Virgin is a channel for divine energy, an embodiment of the mysterious processes through which spirit materializes into earthly forms. As with so many of our spiritual traditions, Western astrology developed in social contexts defined by oppressive patriarchal systems of rule, and it can be difficult, if not impossible, to separate useful wisdom from this historical baggage, especially as we continue to live in and struggle against a patriarchal world dominated by toxic, sexist, heteronormative, male-centric values. This enormous problem is especially acute with the sign of Virgo, and the source of a strong discomfort factor for me and many people I know when it comes to working with this symbol in particular. I find it useful to remember that the ancient symbol of the Virgin is actually a form of the goddess, and a holdover from the oldest roots of Hellenistic astrology. Very generally speaking, ancient goddess traditions are older than the male god traditions that have dominated the world for the last couple thousand years, and correspond to an epoch of human history before agricultural economies, private property, and class-based societies. In the ancient definition, a virgin was a priestess who embodied the wisdom of the earth. Virgins were whole unto themselves and lived to understand the language of nature. Virgins served as vessels of divine order, messengers of uncorrupted wisdom. The god most strongly associated with this sign is Mercury, the primary deity of magicians, alchemists, healers, scribes, and priests. This is because Mercury, the messenger of the gods, is the element that makes all connections possible, the current that moves between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, potential and reality. The medicine of Virgo, then, teaches us how to live life as a process of purification and refinement. This is why those born under the sign have a reputation for being so picky and critical. But the real archetypal purpose of Virgo is to create health and well-being, weaving human needs and natural forces together with grace and elegance. Anyone who has ever felt the effectiveness of a regular asana yoga practice, what has become known in the Western world simplistically as yoga, or dedicated themselves to learning an instrument or singing or a particular sport or style of dance or cooking or any art form has likely shared the profound embodied experience of working patiently toward an unreachable ideal. The point is not to achieve perfection, that is impossible. The point is rather to strive for perfection through consistent and earnest practice, getting a little closer to the ideal every day. This requires humility, honest self-assessment, and earnest commitment to growth. Stephen Forrest brilliantly trashes the popular astrology trends that so often paint Virgo as a pragmatic but somewhat boring sign, and clarifies why, as he writes, in truth there is no sign more exciting. Not only is Virgo the sign that is most eager to grow, evolve, and refine itself, it achieves this goal through a path of service to nature and the world. If she is a counselor, she must try to become infinite love and understanding. If she is an artist, she must become a source of flawless beauty. If she is a garbage collector, she must be a symbol of the imperishability of human dignity, and everything else, every other more limited aspect of her consciousness, must fade. The Virgin becomes the service she offers, and as that service grows more perfect, so does she. This Virgo season, I have had a series of profound experiences from which I am still learning much about humility, service, communication, and how we can create conditions for new possibilities to emerge between people struggling for liberation. I've been working with comrades from all walks of life to build a community called Rise Uptown, which started as a protest encampment fighting a harmful gentrification project in one of the most culturally rich neighborhoods of Chicago. We occupied a piece of land that used to belong to the only community hospital in the area, but has recently been sold to a national real estate developer, which is now beginning construction on the site of a high-rise luxury apartment building with extremely high rents. After 11 days, police evicted us from the space, arresting 3 of us on charges of criminal trespassing. But because we had been carefully attending to each other for those 11 days, emphasizing values and practices of self-care as well as mutual aid, communicating often using intentional structures that emerged organically, and attending to the details of what it means to build a functional and resilient community, we were able to immediately continue camping together in another nearby area. We joined up with houseless comrades and neighbors who were facing another imminent eviction from the park across the street, to highlight how they are also being continually displaced by city policies that prioritize removing people from their places of refuge over providing them with access to housing. As of this filming, Rise Uptown is on its 24th day and is still going strong, having so far survived 2 evictions and 2 major storms. This is why I was not able to begin writing this essay or filming this video until more than halfway through Virgo season. And believe me, the Virgo in me was not happy about this lapse in the otherwise fairly tight schedule I have managed to keep for this project so far. But I have had to learn many times throughout my life to let go of negative self-talk that comes with perfectionism. This, of course, is Virgo's shadow. Too much exacting self-reflection and self-assessment can become toxic if not tempered with all-encompassing acceptance, best represented on the zodiac by Pisces, Virgo's opposite and complementary sign. Quote, "She must love herself for what she is, not for what she could be," writes Stephen Forrest. Only then will she avoid the trap of feeling she must make up for some inner deficiency through continuous self-sacrifice. The Virgo playlist takes the listener on a healing deep dive through the realms of self-reflection and self-evolution, with lots of soothing space for meditation, especially from mellow jazz and hip-hop instrumental tracks with intricate arrangements. Great Virgo artists like John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, and B.B. King exemplify mastery, as do expressive Virgo vocalists like Amy Winehouse, Ray Charles, Beyonce, Michael Jackson, and Freddie Mercury. But at the heart of this collection are Virgo lyricists who approach the ineffable in their poetry. No Name, MC Slug of Atmosphere, Ezra Furman, Ani DeFranco, Leonard Cohen. You can listen on shuffle for an eclectic mix of mostly chill late summer vibes, but as always, I encourage you to listen to it at least once in order from beginning to end, a project that will take some commitment, for a curated journey through vulnerability, brokenness, and the work of healing, repairing, and refining the self and the world day by day. One ever-evolving love.